From the BG Ad Group studios, this is a special Paulding County News Election podcast with your host, Melissa Carter.
Well, we got Shannon Price on the podcast with us. She is running for Paulding County School Board at Large. Shannon, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're highlighting all the offices that Paulding County has open for the election, and of course, the primary at the end of May. And so let's talk about your motivation on why you put your name in the hat for school board.
The reason that I put my name in the hat, my last child is graduating this year. He has had some struggles throughout many of his school years, as well as my older child. They both have ADHD, and it's been a struggle trying to make sure that they've gotten the help that they've needed. I've had to really help them because they struggled with math. I didn't find out that they had ADHD until they got into long division. They could not follow straight lines. And then math started changing drastically. When Common Core came in, it really would mess with them.
Let's talk a little bit about ADHD. I have family members that have that as well. And it is something that I think a long time ago people dismissed as, oh, well, don't feed him sugar or don't whatever it was. But it's an actual diagnosis, and it is really hard for those whose brain functions like that to focus on things, right? And so to your point, do you think that if your sons had been diagnosed younger, do you think that would have helped them through the school system?
Probably, because in kindergarten, the teacher that he had, she would be like, wow, Aiden just cannot sit still. He is all over the place, but he was very, very smart. You're just going to have to try and curtail him. I said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, but does he not learn? Is he a problem? No, but he just can't sit still. He finishes the work and he's jumping all over the place. I said, well, he is a 5-year-old little boy. How do you want me to handle that? That was always a problem. They would not diagnose him at 5 years old with ADHD. That was such a disservice to him because he got labeled in kindergarten as a child that had no structure. And I was in the school system. I was a room mom. I was in PTA. I was all of those things, an involved mother. Then I had another one that came up that was the same way. I'm also a Sunday school teacher. Well, they don't really call it that anymore. I have 3 and 4-year-olds. My babies are turning 4 now. I've had them since most of them 9 months old. I've moved up with them since then. They are going to start kindergarten. And the way the school system is right now, it breaks my heart. They all learn differently, every single one of them. I have some that I have to get on the floor with and I have to show them, okay, you do this and you do this to make this happen. I have some that can sit at the table with me and we color and we learn our Bible verse. I have some that I have to show specifically how to use glue. Not everyone learns the same.
Paulding County is one of the largest growing counties in the state, and I see that they're building more and more schools. Is the school system too big? I mean, what do you think needs to happen for kids to be able to be taught individually?
The problem is they put a 10-year plan into place 10 years ago. They have not built new schools. This is the first school that they built in 10 years, which is going to be a middle school. That middle school, when they build it, is going to be immediately full. And then they've got 2 elementary schools that are going to be built. When those schools are built, and they're not going to be until 2025. So we've got a whole year of overcrowding in our elementary schools. Those schools, when they are built, are going to be immediately filled. We have over 15,000 houses that are being built right now. If those houses have 1 child, where are those children going to go to school?
It seems like that is an ongoing issue. I told Shannon off air that I'm a mother as well. And even before I became a mother, I noticed that it seems like every election year, whether it's a local election or whether it's a federal election, school is a huge issue for so many people. And to your point, the fact that they are just large classrooms.
You cannot expect a teacher to have 35 children in their class and be able to help them all. It's unrealistic, especially when you put children of all learning capabilities in their room. You cannot have high learners with very low learners or children with learning disabilities in a room and expect a teacher to help them. That's unrealistic. When you have a child that melts down because they don't understand something and she has to spend 15 minutes explaining something to one child, the other people have lost it. They're acting up, they're talking. And then for that teacher to try and get a classroom back together, you've lost 30 to 45 minutes of teaching. I know that. I've got 2 kids and I sometimes can't get my household back together for hours if I've got a kid that's melting down. Can you imagine having a classroom full of 35 kids at different ages? If you've got that many high schoolers that have their own agendas and they're ready for either break or they're ready to be done with school because they're seniors or they're juniors and they know how to rule the world now, you cannot handle that many children with that many behaviors and that many agendas. It's unrealistic.
Shannon, let me ask this question because I have never really been someone who has desired to run for office. And I really admire everyone who wants to put themselves out there like that, especially now in the climate of social media. Do you find social media as a platform where you can get the issues of your constituents in a good way, or is it something that is just really distracting for those running for office?
I'll tell you, my experience has not been very good. I used social media before as a way to connect with my family because I have family spread out in Tennessee, in Florida, in Alabama. And so I kept up with my friends because the graduating class that I was with, we have stayed pretty consistent and we just keep up with what's going on. I keep up with my grandchildren. I jumped on social media and I have posted pictures. I do short little videos. I posted a picture just the other weekend of my child and his beautiful girlfriend at the prom in Carrollton. They attacked my kid. I always thought that children were kind of off limits. They said that my kid looked stoned. They made fun of his clothes. I've had people just tell me that I'm a dumb mom, that I don't know the issues. I have never been attacked like that. I've always protected people that I love. I have just never seen people that I live in a county with be so vicious.
One last thing, what makes you qualified to run for the school board?
Well, before I was a mother, I was in banking, mortgage banking for 20-something years. I left that because it got very unethical. It was during the 2000s when the mortgage banking business went crazy. They started doing 100% mortgages and property values were being inflated and they were just giving loans to people that could not afford them. And it made our whole economy crash and collapse. And I didn't want to be a part of that. My moral compass wouldn't allow it. I got out of that business and I went into the medical field for a little while. And then I started having children. I was 37 when I had my first child. The Lord blessed me with the 2 incredible children that I have. I now am later in my life. I'm going to be 60 next year. I started working for the school system after I had my children so I could be involved and I could be close to them and I could see what was happening after I'd been out of school for so long. My youngest child played baseball. So the politics and the things that are going on in our school for kids to just play sports and to be involved is so expensive and it's so hard to play sports in our county. Things just need to be different for people that are underprivileged, for the children that don't get to eat in school because their parents might forget to pay for their lunch money. There's so many things that our school system could do better that they turn a blind eye to. I, as a mother, would like to see changed and like to see different. But I feel that our school system has turned into a moneymaker instead of something for children. And those are the reasons why I'm running.
Shannon, thank you so much for joining the podcast. We really appreciate it and good luck this spring.
I want to thank you for being so kind and gracious. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to this special election Paulding County News podcast. Stay tuned for more interviews with our local political candidates.
Life's a constant hustle, and at Credit Union of Georgia, our focus is crystal clear. It's all about you. Juggling a million things? We get it. That's why we're committed to providing the best service imaginable. We're not just your credit union, we're your financial allies. Knowledge is our power, from crafting basic budget plans to navigating the local home buying scene. Questions popping up? We've got you covered with fast, friendly answers. Because we want you to spend more time living your life. Imagine a financial institution that truly cares. That's Credit Union of Georgia inviting you to join us. If you live, work in Bartow, Cherokee, Cobb, Dawson, Paulding, Pickens, or Union County, we want you as a member of Credit Union of Georgia family. Because here, you're not just a member, you're part of a community that cares. Ready to experience banking that revolves around you? Call us at 678-486-1111 or visit cuofga.org. Credit Union of Georgia. Your financial journey, our priority.